Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All-Star panel. I'm Glenn from JacGlen, and this is Jackie, who with me as well. We got August Love Story with us today as well, Tommy. The rest of people will be jumping on a little bit later. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Talk a little bit Married at First Sight. What a crazy episode this week was. I couldn't wait to get to the panel to hear what you guys had to say in the chat and to hear what everyone else had to say as well. But go ahead, Tommy. Give us a little introduction, man. What's going on with you?
Well, hi guys. I'm Tommy, one half of the August Love Story group, marriage, team, partnership. Yeah, it's just gonna be me today. But yeah, this week's episode was I was glad to see a shift in focus. So I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Yeah, let's get to it. We talk about shifting focus. I want to get started with this couple, man. Michael and Jasmina. You talk about shifting focus. These two right here had a very deep shift in focus. I told my wife in our review when we talked about it, I wanted to see, what did Pastor Cal actually say to these two to make them have a shift in focus? Because they're like, yo, Pastor Cal ripped us a new one. Pastor Cal ripped us a new one. Man, in your opinion, what did Pastor Cal say to make these two knuckleheads really be like, to give this man a whole bunch of credit for what happened?
Personally, I didn't see Pastor Cal say anything. To be honest with you, he just kind of like with the parts that we saw. It may be something behind the scenes that we didn't get the chance to see. But from what we saw, he was just like, hey, reset. Let's start over. Which that's great advice and everything, but it's kind of like playing football when you mess up on one down, you gotta kind of forget it and move on to the next thing. And so in telling them to reset, I guess that's what sparked them into a new direction with things. And we got a chance to see that in this episode with between it. It was good to see them smiling with each other. That was like, I'm really rooting for this couple. If don't any other couple make it, I want this couple to make it. It's weird, but I know, but it is what it is with them. But no, I really enjoyed how they were like actually getting along with each other and smiling and joking with each other and stuff like that. I still think Michael needs to loosen up and get more comfortable. I think that's what it is. It's like he's not as comfortable as he should be, or as a regular, like if you dated a person, he's not that comfortable with her. He's probably still mesmerized by her somehow. I think she needs to loosen up personally as well, because you can kind of see like she's still kind of standoffish, but she's hoping and holding on to what Pastor Cal said by resetting. So you can kind of commend them both for that. I'm trying to go through my notes. That's everything off the top of my head. Now let's hit the notes and see what I hate. What I said. Now the biggest thing, the letdown of the whole situation is his sister. I think his sister could have guided Michael a lot better. And I think what's her name? Sam is Jasmina's friend that she talked to. I think she hit it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's you. She didn't hold back. But I think Michael's sister could have went more into what he needed to do, give him more guidance in how to better communicate, how to, instead of, I think she said something like, y'all don't know each other, would kind of guide him into, well, how would you get to know somebody in this situation or something like that. Just, it was more, I feel like she left out that would have been a lot more helpful to him than what she told him, I think.
No, you good. I think I was on the same path with her. I think she was surface level for him, because I think he needed straight chaser. So with him, look, you need to stop raising your voice, because I don't think he told her the whole story.
Right. That's what it was. Right. He left out some things.
Yeah, I think he left out some things, right? And so because he left the things that he left out, she wasn't like, hey, you know what? You can't talk to no female like that. We basically, she could have told him, we raised you better than that, right? Because they raised him a little bit. She could like, yo, we raised you better than that. You know how to talk to women. You know how to treat women. You know how to be respectful. Even if your woman tells you that she thinks you raising your voice, guess what you try to do? You try to bring that bad boy down, because if this the woman that you say you love, or this the woman that you say you want to spend the rest of your life with, or that you care about, then you make some adjustments in the relationship for her. And so you make those adjustments. I think she was compassionate to both of them. Even when she met with Jasmina, she was kind of like, I want to see y'all make it. You know, how's my brother? Tell me the truth. How's my brother doing? Or how are you guys going on? And so she wanted to know that. But again, the sister to me is like, sometimes with family, you can have those blinders on. And there are some things that's going on with Jasmine and Michael. Now, great. I love to see the fact they was close. He was touching her. She wouldn't say, get off me. You know, he wouldn't none of that stuff. She actually does genuinely like him. She said it. She told her sister, I like Michael. You know, well, let's put it this way. I like him this week. I'm put it this way. You know, in these last couple of days, I actually like him. And when she said she had to do a reset, so she had to like, you know, I was just so frustrated that I didn't know how to let go. And I think after they met with Pastor Cal, she understood how to let go. But he gonna do something again. I ain't saying lie. He gonna do something. He gonna do something again, or she gonna do something again. He ain't gonna say something the right way, the way that she wants him to say it. Because again, I think they are the same person, right?
Yeah.
And they just bump heads. And I think Sam, everybody need a friend like Sam.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, everybody need a friend like Sam, because Sam was like, yo, girl, you know your stuff stinks.
She was like, that sound a whole lot like you. And Jasmina was like, what?
Right.
Shut up. Your friend know better. She was like, yeah, that sounds a lot like you. Strong-willed, you know, stubborn. That sound like you. So yeah, I agree. Sam did Jasmina good. I appreciated Michael's sister, Claire, I think that was her name, sitting talking to Jasmina. Because you know they hit it off anyway. I like the relationship that they're building. You know, his sisters really kind of embraced Jasmina. And so it was good to see them sit down and talk. But I was gonna say, when she talked to Michael, again, I think she made a good point. She could have went harder in on him, but she did make him know, remember, y'all are still strangers. You don't know each other that well. And she's got her walls up. And so when you act a certain way or talk a certain way, those walls go up a little higher, or maybe grow a little bit thicker. So just keep that in mind. You got to try to help her, you know, like my husband was saying, you know, say what you got to say in a certain way to kind of bring those walls down. Yeah. And I really was happy that when Claire asked Jasmina, she was like, oh, no, I like him. Because I think we was all wondering, do you? I don't know if you like him. Okay, good. So you like him. Okay. All right. Now that we got that established. Because I was like, I think she don't like him because she like not cutting my man no kind of slack.
Right.
Actually, sure, you're going to have to, I mean, we all been there. You know, your spouse, your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend do something. You know, you got to let him off the hook. Sometimes I thought she was going to keep him hung up on that thing. She wanted
to put that dude on the hook for 8 weeks, man.
Yeah.
I think if Pastor Cal hadn't stepped in, man, she wasn't going to stay in the apartment, in my opinion. My opinion.
Right.
She wasn't going to stay there.
Yeah, she'd have been in and out. She'd have been there for just
she had a preconceived notion of him, though, that she couldn't let go. You know, and that was another issue. You know, she thinks he thinks the most negative things. I don't think, and then he proved it by saying, you know, like, we're gonna have conflict. We all know that y'all are gonna argue at some point in time, but you don't have to bring it up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, that's not a conversation to have. Like, enjoy this wave, man.
Yeah.
And I think that hurt them a lot, and her being able to stop, reset everything, and kind of, you know, it's still there, but it's like, I'm not gonna bring it up, or I'm not gonna think that's who he is until he shows it again. You know what I'm saying? That type of deal between them two, man. And I also felt like it was something missing with Jasmine and his sister's conversation too. I like the fact that she did say she likes him, because yeah, like you said, we always like wondering that. So it made me feel better personally that she said she likes him. But it still felt like Michael's sister missed out on some great advice to them both because of like what was the conversation that they were having. I just feel like she could have. It was like it's right there at the tip, just here, But I think she missed it because of them.
I think you, Kitty. That's what I would ask as a sibling. Excuse me, as a sibling, what can I do to help you like my brother more, or what is my brother doing to, I know you guys are married and you're newly married. What can I assist you with in your marriage? You know what I'm saying? To help assist what's going on, because I can see
or to know him
better. Or to know him better, or to know him better. What can I help you with so you get to know him better? What have you seen that you may need help with since the honeymoon to help to understand Michael or anything of that nature? Try to build that relationship or create the walls from coming down in there, which I thought those are some questions Jasmina could have asked.
Yeah, totally. That's what, and those are the things that I feel like as the sibling can help. You know what I'm saying? Like getting to know a person a lot better, especially because he was, they had that one had a hand in raising him.
Right.
It's just, I don't know, man. That conversation with the sister, it was like glad to have it, glad that they have a relationship, but wish we could have saw more of the conversation and see if she touched on some of the things that would have been really helpful for both of them in building their relationship together or whatnot. I really don't remember what her friend said to Michael.
They didn't really ask him much. It's just like, how's things are going, what do you see? You're like, I do really like her, I do really care for her, I want to see if it works out. I think one of the biggest things for Michael was when he went to see his sister, he was dealing with all this stress, at the beginning. And his sister could tell that he was stressed out, like what's going on. And I think that was the biggest thing, when he told her what was going on. And she kind of looked at him like, yo, that's you. It's kind of like, it didn't say it, but it's like kind of you. You didn't share the whole story, or you didn't tell the situation about the roommate. You didn't
right.
She probably didn't really cut you off. Dog, give her a pass. Y'all only known each other for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? And it's those type of things. I think when you look at that couple, this is a couple where they didn't even really get a chance to know each other on the honeymoon, because the first thing that happened set her off, and it was done from the get-go. And so now they're just rebuilding that. They didn't really get to enjoy the week to know each other because it was mad at each other for majority of the week. So it's like, so now it's like they got to hit the reset button, and they're week behind everybody else, in my opinion. They're week behind from knowing each other, week behind from communicating, week behind from getting to the point where they needed to be real close. So they're like, y'all behind the power curve, so you need to accelerate a class to speed up. And I don't know if both of them willing to put in the work to do that. It seemed like Michael really wants this. It seemed like Jasmina wants it as well. But again, I think the biggest issue with both of them, they've never seen successful relationships.
Yeah.
And I think Michael's never seen anybody married. Jasmina hasn't seen successful relationships. So I don't know. And they're using everybody else's advice.
That's the hard part about this whole thing is, like, to me, Michael seems to be socially awkward, and not in a bad way. I don't want to say that in a negative way, but it just seems like socially he's not a what's it called, a social butterfly.
Right.
So in social aspects, he's gonna be quiet until he like gets warmed up to everybody. Unlike Jasmina, she just needs to come in the room, But I think that hurts him a little bit in this situation too, because it's like him being so closed off. I don't understand the not telling her about the roommates deal. Like, that was just stupid to me, but it happened, and it's like, okay, how are you digging yourself out of this hole? And him losing at the game, I think at the game night or the housewarming part, I think that helped as far as like him accepting the loss and having something witty to say afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's just, it's good to see them laugh. It's good to see them smile with each other. It's good to see them getting along. But it's like, can you sustain this? Is this something that can go on and lead to a bigger change for you guys. So
yeah, I think that's the key too. Do you believe in it, right? Do you believe that's gonna last much longer than what it is? Or is this just a one-off for them?
Right.
I think that's the key. Was it just a one-off? Because again, it's like, and not that we talk about Brianna and Vincent a couple seasons, we always bring them up. Is Michael walking on eggshells, or is he really fully being himself? Right. And I think that's what we got to ask. Is he walking on eggshells, not trying to make a mistake? And is Jasmina allowing him to be himself? And vice versa. Is he allowing Jasmina to be herself? Because it don't seem like she walks on too many eggshells anyway. Like, she can let you know what time it is and how it is. Michael, you know. Now Michael. So it's like she can let you know who it is. So is he walking on eggshells? Because he's a personal trainer, but I'm sure he does one-on-one stuff.
I think Michael is not secure in himself. Period. He's not secure in himself. So when you said that, I think he doesn't feel comfortable enough, like really being himself. Like, I mean, maybe he is just weird. He's just, I'm just saying, maybe he's just weird. And he's like, I don't know if I could be completely weird with her. I don't know if she gonna like it. So I think that's what it is. He like, I'm just this just the way I am. You know what I mean? Yeah. And everything that he's let her see, she like, why are you doing that? What are you doing that for? Why you, And so he's like, dang, I can't even let the whole weird me out.
But something that something y'all said that I just thought about. Maybe he doesn't want to get too close because everybody he's gotten close to.
Oh, for sure, he said that.
He's lost.
He said that.
And he said, remember, his family, everybody he's gotten close to, he's connected with. He's kind of something happened. He lost, so he's living in that negative space and not realizing that this is a good thing.
You don't do that. You don't have that thought process and do Married at First Sight though. You can't do that.
No.
It's not gonna work at all.
Right. Nah,
I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case neither. But again, we got to realize, why doesn't his relationships work? What did he do to all? Because everybody's on this show for a reason, right?
Right.
Everybody's on here for a reason, and so what is his reason? Again, is that negativity the reason that he's by himself?
It gotta be. I truly want to see what happened in his other relationships to get him here. Yeah, because it's like he even said that it was his fault, that things didn't work out, like they got in the way of his other relationships. So it's like I'm curious to see what happened and then what's his plan to change those things, So Michael and Jasmina. I'm rooting for them. Like,
I am too. I'm with you. I'm rooting for them. I'm like, who said it? I think Telisa said it last week. Like, I'm always rooting for the black love, but then it'd be one in particular. I'm like, come on, I want y'all to get it together because they could be really cute. You know what I'm saying?
I have no hopes for them.
Yeah.
So I have no hopes for them.
Dang.
I don't. I would like for them to be. I just don't see it. To me, it's something. I mean, just even, and I think even for her to make up the fact that perceive the fact. I ain't say she make it up. Perceive the fact that he yelled at her, right? When he was talking stern, and he's gonna do that again. And I think when he does again, she's gonna take it to the left, and it's gonna go to the left, and that's gonna be the end of their relationship.
He's gonna have to romance her. That's the other thing I'm noticing. But that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that's the other thing I'm noticing with him too. He don't, and maybe that goes again to the people I get close to. It's hard for me to get close to people because he lose people. He's gonna have to be more affectionate with her. He's gonna have to be romantic. He'll have to get outside of himself, and because it's just gonna be blah. It's just gonna be blah.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be 8 weeks and no.
Yeah, bro. I'm interested to see how he try to romance her.
I am.
If he does, I don't think it's in him. He need to get some points from Olajuwon. He need to get some points from Olajuwon. Let's go. I don't want to say this couple for last. We talked a mess about this couple for the past weeks. And we was wrong, man. We was all wrong last week, Tommy. We thought it was the end of Chris and Alyssa, that we weren't going to see them no more. We thought we weren't going to see them on the show anymore. We thought, look, it was okay, they broke this bad boy off. Like, look, Chris and Alyssa, we're just going to go to 4 couples and we're going to talk about them. And they disappointed us because we even saw them like in over 10 minutes we saw Chris
like that.
and Alyssa.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, they on this episode too. Okay, all right. That's what we doing.
Yeah.
Alyssa lied to her friend. Like straight up, like not telling the truth. If the truth was in her, then I don't know. Like she and then I was watching the after party, and I don't know if it was on the episode as well, but her friend was like, basically was saying, hey, you can stretch the truth a little bit. So I wish I would have got a chance to meet him myself, to basically figure out that she was lying. Highlight for them, for me, and this episode was when they were at the bowling alley, and I'm jumping around too, guys. I'm sorry.
Now you fine, man. Go ahead, bro.
Truth ain't in it. The highlight for me was the bowling alley when she was like, I tried, and they panned to everybody, and everybody's look on their face was, tried what? not being married to him. I think Alyssa just came on to get famous.
Yes.
And I don't think she ever wanted to, like, if she would have got a really, really handsome guy, and but I don't think Married at First Sight just had those all out handsome dudes. Like, I think Married at First Sight kept it to like a 7 to a 9. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't got real super ugly people, but they ain't got real super pretty people.
Right.
That's why I think they kept it at, and she was looking for a 10 when they gave her a 7. And when she saw him, she wasn't attracted to him, couldn't get past it, and that was it. And she acted a child, and then told everybody who would listen a made up story that she made, that made her sound good and look attractive as a person from the outside, because I'm gonna say all good things about myself.
Absolutely.
All the negative things you better ask Artika or somebody else. But you're gonna say, like, if you ask me about me, I'm giving you 100% best Tommy.
Right.
And that's what Alyssa did this whole episode, talking to everybody, man. I still feel like nobody has held her to the fire. And I'm still wanting that, because she has to admit that, like, no, you didn't try. No, you didn't do this. You didn't participate in the whole thing. And you actually, for you to be a good person or to be considered a good person, you didn't think about the other person's feelings at all. Not thinking about Chris's feelings throughout this whole thing made it even more sad, because now Chris went back, told his mom that, hey, it's just not gonna work out. Like, how sad of a conversation that is. They was married for 10 days.
Right.
And his mom wanted him to be married forever, right? She been planning this since he was young.
Right. So he's married for 10 days. He has to get back on a call, not in person, on a Zoom call. So now he still has to go see his mom. That's still an interaction he has to go through. He has to call her, tell her that he's not married anymore, tell him what's going on, and then at some point down the line, he's gonna have to go in person to her, and give that obligatory hug, that I'm sorry, good to see you, and all that stuff. Right after this. So it's like, you never think about things like that, and you never think about how he feels about it. And I'm glad he was able to go on the after party and kind of talk more about it and stuff like that. But I just wish somebody would be like, I hope she goes to the reunion, and whoever they got at the reunion, they be like, yo, look at this stuff and answer it. Like, you say you hate this dude. Like, for you to say you hate somebody and you don't know him, come on, man.
Yeah.
What kind of sense does that make?
Yo,
I feel like you, Tommy. That whole conversation with her friend, I was like, oh, I know this about to be some bull. because he ain't there to defend himself.
Right.
And I was like really happy when her friend was like, you know, because I was feeling like you giving him a hard time. And I was like, you right. She is. She is not giving that man the benefit of the doubt. Did y'all, when she asked her friend asked her, you know, like, did he talk to you? Did you know the resort was really small, and you know, I was around. If he wanted to talk, he could have came and found me. And they showed every clip. Tell him stay over there. Tell him don't talk to me. No, I don't want to talk to them. I hate him. I was like, this chick is lying through her teeth.
Producers didn't do her any favor on that, right?
No.
Right.
The producers wanted you to know that, yo, she lied.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm like, you're gonna sit there and tell that bold-faced lie to your friend. And I really wish that friend had been at the wedding too. I really wish she had been at something, the brunch, something. If she wasn't at the wedding, because she had made it to the reception, because you know your friend. I think deep down inside she was still like, I still don't know if I believe you, but okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and then me and my husband laughed because when they went to the bowling alley and they had I think it's so crappy too. I mean, I understand people gonna have questions, but they have them. You have to go tell the couples that y'all are getting a divorce. You know what I mean? It's like, dang, okay, we got to go tell them. And they sit down and they look at each other. And he was like, do you want me to say it or do you? She was like, you. So that way she was like getting ready. I think when she said, let him do it, she was like, let me find my tissue because I know I'm going to put on, wait till he say it soon. I'm going to start. This is hard for me. This was so hard.
No, see, y'all missing it. She let him do it because she couldn't really tell the story without lying, and all the other girls knew she was lying, right?
But she still did it.
But she let him tell the story because she can't do it.
I'm sorry. And that's the other thing. And then when she told her friend like, well, he just let it go. Like he couldn't do it no more. You know, he wanted to go. I was like, girl, you really, this what we doing? Like she made it to her friend look like, you know, he just gave up on us. You know, I tried my best. He just gave up. And so, yeah, I agree with you. We said that too, that at the bowling alley, she couldn't pull the wool over their eyes because they were there. They saw their interaction. But again, I still say it was, you know, let me get my tissues because I got to fabricate these tears. And, you know, I loved how they panned everybody too, Tommy. I mean, Olajuwon looking at the ceiling, like, Katina had just been saying, I think it's funny when he jerked his head. And what did he do when Alyssa said that? He said,
first thing he did.
What is she talking about? I was just like, gosh, you could have dropped a pin in there. And I know it's other people in that bowling alley besides them, but I promise you, if you could have dropped a pin and you would have heard it, because they was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yo, she had, you know, you have those people, right? And she's one of those people that convinced herself that is this way. And you can't tell her any other way that she didn't do 100% everything right. I just believe even after they show it to her, that she's still going to think she did everything the right way.
Well, if he hadn't been looking the way he had looked, I wouldn't have acted like that.
She would never own. I don't care who asked her the question. It could be Kevin Frazier. It could be Jamie Otis. It could be Keisha Knight Pulliam. It could be Pastor Cal and Dr. Viv and Dr. Pepper. She's never going to answer those questions. I think she would never answer those questions. Like, was it his looks? Or was it the way he really moved his hands? Was it his body? Was it the fact that he was trying to get rid of his dog? Why did you sign a marriage license in the first place? Did you really call your lawyer to try to get out of the license? You know, was it his idea? Why did you lie to your mama? Why did you lie to your friend? What did your friends think when they watched the episode and saw that you lied to them? Did anybody confront you, right? So, I mean, those are questions. I mean, those are questions that we want to know, right?
Yeah.
Like when you got back home and everything was done, like, did anybody ever call you out on your BS, right? Did anybody call you and say, you know what, you wrong? It ain't editing to make you do this, right? You said this. Right. You told the producer, and I blame the producers for the show. All of them should be fired. All
He said
the
all of them should be fired.
all the producers that worked with her should be fired.
I told you.
Because they didn't hold her to the fire. Because I'd have been like, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to tell him he can't come right now. You need to go talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting him come on over here, right? Nope, can't do that. Y'all need to have a conversation. Nope, can't do that. Nope, I can do. Nope, can do this, but I can't do that. I'd have held her to the fire. She would have talked to him, and she would have to tell him, nope, relationship over. Let her do all the dirty work.
Like that's the thing. It's like in a real marriage. I'm not saying that they're not in a real marriage, but in a marriage, you know, you don't have a buffer.
Right.
You know, you don't have a producer in there saying, hey, okay, she don't want to talk to you right now. That person has to say, I'm stepping away. I don't want to talk to you right now. That's a conversation that y'all have to have.
Mm-hmm.
The simple point of you using the producers as a buffer to not talk to this guy says you're not even trying to communicate with this guy. I do hate that they got divorced so early, because then just kind of jumping around a little bit, it allows the other couples to think it's okay. You know, because if you know, it's like, oh, they got divorced, so we can, you know, it's cool.
Yeah, but it made Steve think the other direction though. Steve was like, you know what, I need to tighten my game up.
Yeah,
Steve. See, I can see some people, you know, saying, hey, you know what, I'm on the way out. But Steve looked at it from like, you know what, I want to be married. Let me tighten my game. Let me tighten my belt up. Let me tighten the situation. The argument that we had, Steve was like, you know how we do, like a couple arguing. Steve looked at his situation. Man, mine ain't that bad.
Right. Man, glad I'm not married to her.
Right. Steve was like, I'm glad I ain't married. Like, you know what? This whole noodle situation really ain't that bad.
Right.
I ain't glad I ain't married to her.
Man, that was crazy, man. But yeah, man, I hated for Chris this whole time. Hopefully they, like, if they are on the show anymore, hopefully they're just doing interactions with the other people and not with each other or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I truly do hate it for Chris not getting a chance to truly go through the experiment and see if he can actually be, you know, continue on to be married. It sucks, man. It truly does.
Yeah.
It does. I don't think they hopefully she's not. I think we'll see her more her than we do Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I think she will really, again, I want to hang around the girls. You tell me I can't be around my girls? I can't.
You don't even know them.
And truthfully, which of the girls really like her? Maybe Jasmina? I know Katina tolerates her.
I think it's Katina. I don't think Jasmina really fools with her too much, but I think Katina and her, you know, and the only reason I say it is because when they were on the boat, Katina was you know, Katina walked away and Alyssa followed her like a little puppy.
Yeah.
Trying to be involved. But I don't even feel like with her saying she want to be around her girls, they didn't hold, like, them not holding her to, like, being honest with herself. I don't think she should consider them being friends.
Right.
You know, because I would expect my friends to be like, hey, bro, you tripping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just not being a yes man to what I'm doing, you know. And then the second thing is, what makes them think that she got time, that they have time for her?
Right.
That's crazy, man. She came in here with dreams of being famous and just acted a AWS, man.
Oh, she famous, all right.
Yeah, in the wrong way.
She will go down in history, bro.
In the wrong way.
Every time he talking about the worst person on Married at First Sight, it'd be a picture of Alyssa.
Right, she's definitely in the top 3.
Well, yeah, especially for women, she is catapulted herself.
Oh man,
for wives, she is number 1 on the wives. Maybe not overall, because this was some sucky men on there too. But for the women, she's the pinnacle right now.
Oh man,
yeah. Oh, yeah, she might be. Yeah, she's up there.
I don't know. Like, I don't. Yeah, for me, she's number 1. Like, I can't think of any other women that were just worse than she was.
Nah, she's up there though. Yeah, she's up there.
And top 3 for participant.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's in the conversation.
For participants overall. Yeah.
For overall, yeah. I know people throw Chris out there. They throw Brandon out there. They'll throw Alyssa out there. They even throw Zach out there, right? Matt out there.
Yeah, she in the top 3.
Yeah, she's in
3 to 5.
She's in the top 3 to 5.
And she's not 3 through 5.
No. It's like who depends on who you talk to. She either 1, 2, or 3, right? She's one of those, So she gets there. Let's move to this one, man, because we might be here for a minute. Move to O and Katina. We find out some things about that had my mouth drop a little bit. I didn't know. I could picture it a little bit, but didn't know. O didn't date no sisters, man. Bro,
How?
I understand how. Not even how and why that he never had a serious relationship with somebody of the. And I understand how people don't have to marry somebody that of the same race. And I'm all for love is love, right? Love is if you find it that way, that's good for you, right? If you find love with somebody not the same race, but not to say that you never dated or never been in a relationship with, to me that's the issue.
Yeah.
I just don't find it to be a big deal. Like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? It's like it is what it is. He could have been raised around like where he didn't he was the only black person out of 10 black people, or something like whatever it is. I don't find it like how Katina's friend saw it as being a huge issue, right? It's more of an issue if he was like, I've never dated anyone, or been in a serious relationship with anyone. Then that raises more red flags to me than him not dating it or being in a serious relationship with his inside of his race. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate to say it like this, but with the lights off, it all looks the same. I mean, a woman is a woman, man.
Right.
What color she is, like her color just tells a different story. That's all.
Right.
I just didn't see it as a huge deal, and they make it a big deal, and I get it. I get why it's a big deal, but it's like for me, it's like hey, now I feel like he's now overcompensating for the relationship with Katina because he's in a place he's never been, as far as like dating a black girl or black lady. And it's like it's interesting to see how how he figures it out, because now I feel like he's thinking about it like, okay, like the whole I don't want to have sex thing. You know what I'm saying? I get what he's trying to do. I get what he's saying. But I mean, like, if the moment moves you, man, you can't deny the moment. What do you say? Break the ice, change your life. You need to change your life, man. You need to change your life, man. But it's like I just feel like the fact of that coming out, like, oh, he's never dated a black woman, and then she's a black woman. He's overcompensating for the fact that he's never dated a black woman, and now he's trying to figure out how does it work, which plays into the whole thing of he's still trying to figure out if this is what he wants to do, because everything's new. I don't know why he didn't say that in his why this is the first time it's coming up. I don't know if he told the experts, I've never dated a black woman or been in a serious relationship, or I'm not attracted to it. Now that's the thing too. They were saying he'd never been in a serious relationship, but he had I guess had sex with a black woman before or something, which I don't know, man. Like that, I don't know, man. It's interesting to hear. It's surprising, but it's like it is what it is on that.
We felt like you, Tommy. I was like, I think the friend is making a bigger deal of it than it is. It is different. It's like, okay, so because her friend was like, I mean, Katina's like, his mom is Irish. And you know, the friend is like, okay, but his daddy black, like he's black. He haven't had a serious relationship. And that was the key right there. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had a serious relationship. And I think maybe that's where the friend was getting hung up. Oh, yeah. So a black woman is good enough to have sex with and play around with, but she's not good enough to actually be in a relationship. Maybe that's where she was stuck, you know, because that is kind of alarming. It's like, yeah, what are you saying? What are you saying about a black woman that as a biracial man, you feeding into the stereotypes about black women? Like, I think she was like, it was deeper than she was saying, but she just, you know, she didn't get into it. But to me, again, it was as big a deal as the friend made it. But I was like, yeah, I give an example, like, where does it start? In middle school, our daughter has a friend. He's a black boy. He do not date black girls. Like, why? How you get so set? You know, even as something like with Olajuwon, how far back does this go? You know, it's like, why not? Is it because, you know, you can pretty much come on? We know the stereotypes with, you know, black women versus maybe other women. You know, black women might be more stubborn. You can't say whatever to them, and you can't. And there's nothing wrong with it. You can't. you can't. You know, you might could get away with some of that stuff with some other, you know, races and nationalities, ethnicities of women. You know, black women don't take no stuff. We don't. You know, maybe that's what it is. You know, some of the stuff he be spewing, he know he not gonna get that over with no black woman in a serious relationship. You know. So, but yeah, I think the friend made it a bigger deal than it was, but it is different to hear. And it's kind of disheartening that, you know, to see even a biracial black man, you know what I mean? To say, I don't date black women. What's wrong with us? Why not? Why you can't be serious with us? Why?
I don't know, man. It's hard for me because it's like, man, black women are like most beautiful creatures on this earth. But I think women in general are beautiful. Yeah. Like the idea of life, you know, all of us had to come through a woman. You know, I think that's one of the most beautiful things about women, period. Because you guys are aliens. You come from aliens, you know. But I love it though. But I extremely love it. And for him, we all know that dating I personally never dated a outside of my race, but it wasn't because of not wanting to. It was more so because of what was around me and the dating pool. The people, the person that I wanted to date and who was around me at the time, that's who I had to choose from. Even when I went off to college, I went to a PWI, you know, they're more white people than it was black people, but the people that I hung around were all black. So I chose to date inside of my pool. And I feel like that's what it was with Olajuwon. Football player who's tending to be around football players, white women. Who's throwing themselves more at football players, white women. No offense to any white women that are watching or anything like that, but that's what I saw at my school.
Right.
You know? Right. And I just have to believe that that's how it is at most schools. You know, being in Boston, going to college in Boston, I don't see a lot of black people living in Boston.
Right.
You know, I just don't see that being a black haven. You know, so I have to believe that that's the same situation that he ran into. So
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think his environment dictated who he dated.
For sure.
I think his environment dictated that. And so when we see that in him, to me, it was, as his wife said, it was a surprise. It was a shock to hear her say that. All the women he said he's a mess with, you know what I'm saying, or dealt with. I'm like, okay, never. That just was a shock to me. And I think it shocked a lot of people because no one we didn't see it coming you didn't see it coming.
Yeah, right. It's honestly nothing we was asking for.
Right.
Right.
I think the friends were just so turned off by him. Anything would be like, this is an issue. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And that's only because they didn't like him or they don't like him.
Yeah. I think that's what's key. He said that too. He said it where everybody who when they first meet him already have a perceived notion of who he is and what he does and what he's like until you get to know him. And I think when her friends first met him, they was like, playboy, not gonna take care of our girl, gonna cheat on our girl, who's gonna hurt our girl, and you know what? He ain't good. He ain't no good for it. Even when they start showing the clips of the friends, when they used the questions they were asking Olajuwon, it was questions like, "What are your intentions? What you gonna do? Are you gonna hurt her? Why you this, that, and other?" They was just like drilling him. So they already had a preconceived notion of who Olajuwon was. Even when the girls came, her friends came to the house, they were like
side-eyed him.
Like, y'all had sex yet? Why not? Yeah, we all grown. You can tell us.
Right.
It's like, hold on for a minute. I ain't gotta lie about this thing.
The sex thing, man, is something for it. Like that's ideally, right? Ideally, if you're attracted to a person, like all before I got married, and what I'm talking about is before I got married. Now, anyway, before I got married, my main goal with a woman was to get some and move on to the next one. If you eliminate sex and really try to understand and get to know a person and have a better relationship with a person, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's an actual good idea if you know from your past that that's the only thing you wanted from a woman was sex. Like, okay, well, let's eliminate having sex and explain that. Don't just say I don't want to have sex with you, but explain why. And and you guys know when that moment is there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, they have sex or they don't have sex. And he's still trying to get to know her, talk to her about what she wants, understand what she wants so she can understand what you want, because sex has to be agreed upon two people, not just the lady, in the situation. So I think with the sex question, Katina is like, she wants it, but I think it's fair for him to be like, no, I want to wait, which us as men and most people don't believe that men want to wait. But it's like, I mean, that's a great strategy to get to know a person. You take it out of you, like I always say, sex is the bonus, man.
Right.
I think that shows his maturity a little bit. I mean, at first people thought he was playing. I think Olajuwon really wants to be married, right? And he's willing to do anything. He really wants to change from this Isaac character, right? Even though we see Isaac every once in a while pop his ugly head up, right? He still wants to be Olajuwon. Olajuwon, the husband. And he wants to do this the right way. I really think he really wants to do it the right way. So he want to do everything opposite of what Isaac has done. Isaac was the one that smashed you, within hours of seeing you, right? Isaac was the one that would sleep with you and your mama, right? Isaac was the one that would mess with anybody. So I don't want to be Isaac. I want to be Olajuwon. So I want to be able to move at her pace. I want to be able to be comfortable, and I don't want to mess it up. And again, it's our personal business, but I'm telling you, I don't want to mess it up because again, I don't want. I want the affection. I want the intimacy. I want the communication. I want it to be close. And it's only been 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
I can do this. So if we flip it, let's go flip it back. People had a problem with Chris smashing Paige so quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think that was different, though. Like, but go ahead, man. I think that whole situation was different with Chris.
Yeah, but Chris was trying to smash so he can try to feel like he can like her, right? Yeah. But I know, like okay, maybe if the sex will be good, and I can learn to like her. But Olajuwon likes her, and he doesn't want to mess the relationship because of sex. Yeah. And he wants it to be genuine. He wants to be much more than sex. It is 10 days into it. I'm not mad. It was, I think, Jessica and Austin or some other couples. They went. Deanna and Greg waited for a long time, right? I think they waited till Greg's birthday and before they even got into it. So I think Karen and Miles, right, waited for a while. I think until the pandemic or whatever the case may be. So in this case, 10 days in, they should wait. You know what I'm saying? Get to know each other, move on, and I think putting a time frame on it as we do makes it for me a little bit easier to say, you know what, y'all only known each other for 10 days. Wait it out.
Yeah. And it's like you're not even thinking about, like, for me personally, it's like I'm not even thinking about the fact that they've been together for 10 days. It's just in a normal relationship. The first, like, most of the time, if you have sex within the first few days of just getting to know each other, it's like, what's the chances that you guys make it? What's the chances that you guys bond on a different type of level? Because, like I said, man, like, sex is the bonus. It's the person that you want, because I mean, like, I hate to say it like this, but I mean, like, you can have sex with anybody you want to, you know, but you can't have the person. You can't have your spouse,
right?
You know, like that, and that's the thing. It's like I appreciate him saying I don't want to have sex yet, but I wish we can obviously see the conversation didn't go past that, because Katina is like trying to figure out, well, why he's not having sex with me.
Right.
I feel unpretty. I don't feel pretty, and it's a big deal, and it's still bothering her. Like, nah, you got to have that conversation, because you're thinking about it doesn't mean she's not. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got to have that conversation, and then the friends bringing it up. It's like, you definitely got to have that conversation, because now you're talking to other people about us not having sex, but it's making me feel bad. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, totally agree. I think that conversation needs to be had, because, again, you don't want to do too quick where it messes everything up, and you don't want to wait too long when your girl feeling she's unpretty. Because what we heard, Katina was a party girl from the way they introduced her, that she was used to doing it. They said they were the same type of person. So the way I took that was they both used to meeting somebody, hanging out, having sex, and letting them go their own separate way. Not doing it in relationships. You know, unlike, who was that, Hurricane K, who had a butt buddy. You know, she had somebody that she just had sex with, and that's all it was. You know.
Yeah.
And we see how her and Zach ended up. She had sex with Zach real quick, and that's the only reason Zach kept coming back, because he wanted to have sex.
Right.
You know, right? So you be doing it, you do, darn it, you don't. It's their personal business. Let them be able to figure it out, you know, and then work on their own situation.
Something else I wanted to bring up before we moved off from them is her friends. When they first sat down with O, her friends were like saying that he was speeding past and just talking and bringing up stuff because they thought he didn't want them to ask him questions. And I was like, but he's diagnosed with ADHD. Not saying that that's an excuse, but I'm just saying it's something more to get to understand who this person is. You know what I'm saying? To respect it and have more conversation with him, instead of just trying to find ways to dislike this man. Because I have my reasons as far as why I think he's still trying to figure it out, still trying to figure out if this is the move that he's trying to make, versus them having their reasons of, I don't like him because of X, Y, and Z. And it's like, I think that has a lot to do, you know, that has something to do with it. Like the fact that he does have ADHD, he is high energy. You know, he's one place and then he'll go to the next place. And it's like, you have to understand the person to really understand, you know, to really get to know him, you know. So I don't know. I just feel like they're giving him an unfair shake at this whole thing. And stuff. So
I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they are giving him unfair shakes on that situation. Let's move to this one, man. Yeah, she got to step away.
Hey, y'all, ladies in the comments, y'all keep these men on track, please. we about to go off the top. We about to take over this.
About to act up. We about to act up again. Here we go. We can start with this one right here. Let's get to Stephen Noy, Noodlegate, man.
All right.
Stephen Noy, this whole Noodlegate situation. Before we get to the Noodlegate, get to the work situation, man.
Yeah.
She, you know, we see Steve coming outside, you know, Noy's at work on her computer, and Steve is in the, Steve comes out the room, fix a little breakfast, do what he needed to do, and she's annoyed with the fact that my man is in the. I just picked up that she was annoyed with the fact that he's at home. He's at home chilling while she at the computer working, man. Your thoughts? Give me your thoughts on this.
Like, I mean, that's true. Like, you can get annoyed from somebody. Like, you're sitting up here busting your butt, working, and somebody just casually walks out the room like it ain't Monday morning and people go to work. Like, what are you doing? Like, that can piss anybody off. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Steve, like, Noy is so caught up on gotta have a 9 to 5, gotta clock in, which, I mean, growing up, that's what, I was taught. Like, go to college, you get a good job, work for a company for so many years, and then, you retire. That's life. But nowadays, that doesn't have to be life. Being an entrepreneur, working for yourself is, in these days, a lucrative thing to do. And most of the time, it's more lucrative than just working for somebody. And Steve choosing to, like, first off, you have to look at the context clues for one. Steve was fired in December or laid off in December, took 4 months to go on a vacation. And then he's married now. Like, not one time has he said, "Oh, I need to go work for somebody."
Right.
So context clues tell you he got some money somewhere. All right, that's one thing. We're straight for now. Moving forward, what do we do? And I think Noy is just annoyed with that idea. I think that was more so like the issue at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And Steve said something in the episode. I think he was like, I don't want to say he said he was sad, but paraphrasing, he doesn't like the fact that she's not in support of him trying to figure out like his thing. And I brought up something in our review that in the Black community, or in my realm of the Black community, that wouldn't be acceptable. I can't be 38, 39, 40 years old still trying to figure it out with no job. Like, for me and in my community, that's not acceptable. Right? So apparently it's not acceptable in Noy's head. But what's missing is the financial stability that he has. That you're able to do those things. Now, how far it goes is like, we don't know that, and we'll probably never know that. But it's like, that's the conversation that you have to have. All right, I'm working this hard, and they keep talking about kids, and I'm like, y'all don't have any yet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, stop bringing up these hypothetical situations, and y'all don't have children.
That's what I'm thinking, man. Like, she's thinking in a hypothetical, right? Like, oh, what do we got? Kids, this, that, and the other. And I think we brought up in our interview, our review, and also we did a separate video on this as well. It is much more than, I think, is the income, not the 9 to 5, right? Meaning she wants the income, not necessarily the 9 to 5. But I think you said something too. We don't even know, and we don't know all the dynamics of variables. He was fired from a job, right? We don't know how long he had been there. He may got 3 months of severance, right?
Right.
Like when bro was off, and when he was fired, they gave him a big severance check. Like, here, we're gonna pay you X amount of dollars for the time that you work. I know when Jack had to switch companies, they gave her like 9 months worth of severance, right? Because the company, the department she worked in, they no longer needed that. She had to find another place. But they're like, okay, no problem. We're gonna take care of you. We know it's out of y'all control, but here's 9 months worth of severance.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't know. He could be at home collecting a check.
Could be.
And still over there. I think she was annoyed, but she don't know how to communicate to him. This is my issue, right? Yeah. My issue is that I'm putting in a whole bunch of work by these computers. I'm behind, because he said it when they was eating eggs. Are you behind? Because we was on our honeymoon. She's struggling, had a rough day behind, and my man, somebody said in the chat, he's strolling out like noon. You know what I'm saying? And at noon, like, you want some breakfast? You want something to eat? and she'd have been on the grind for 4 or 5 hours, right?
Right.
And so And I think that makes the big difference for him. And he's not communicating either, right? He's not communicating there. You're like, okay, we can do this, we can do that. But I brought up and you can help me out, and y'all in the chat help me out as well. I'm sitting here like, what bills do they actually have right now?
They're saying bills that they had before.
Yeah, but
they don't have any house. I mean, like, that's it. They don't have any bills together.
Right. And that's what I was figuring. Like, okay, even if you were staying in the Married at First Sight apartment, right? They're paying for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're giving you a stipend or something for because you had to leave your own home. So you might be getting something to take care of where you lived at, right? If you lived in an apartment, you lived in a house, whatever the case may be, taking care of that. Besides a car payment, maybe a cell phone bill, you really ain't got. You got 8 weeks to figure this thing out, and you harping on the fact that he don't have this right now. Yeah, so
per diem for filming.
Right? You get a little. He's like, yo, I'm getting my severance. I'm making little websites here. I'm kind of him. Maybe he's looking at Married at First Sight as his day-to-day job.
I would, like, I get a check.
Right. I understand. Jack put in perspective, like, again, I was sitting here to compete. I'm putting in work. Unless we all financially good, so we can't nobody work, you need to be doing something.
Yeah. That's what it is. But another thing too that bothers me is like the idea that he has to work, right? And we all obviously know that's what Noah is bothered by. He's not working. And it's like, well, what's wrong with him being a house dad or a house husband? That's what they call housewife, house husband. What's wrong with him being a house husband in today's time? It's not something I personally would want to do because I like to do too much stuff.
Me too, dog.
But it's an option. I don't know if she said it in the episode or not, but it's almost like because he doesn't work, she has to. And it's like is she looking at it as an unfair thing? Like, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, Artika had stopped working at one point in time. And I had to cover everything, When she would wake up at 12 and 1 o'clock, it bothered me. You know what I'm saying? We're like, man, you like, what you trying to do? And she would say, I don't know. That would bother me. But it's like, okay, we're a team. So this is what the team needs to do to get here. And we started talking about overall goals for us. Like the thing for Noy and what she needs to figure out is, you're like, honestly, man, for him to be able to, because his friend said it, his network is crazy. So he can get a job when he wants to. The thing now is Steve just trying to figure out what he wants to do.
Right.
Like what's going to be satisfying to him, because I get that. If you're doing something that you're not satisfied doing, you're going to hate doing it. But if you're doing something that you love to do, it's not going to be work to you and you're going to be better at it.
I brought up this point too. When we're talking about it. What if Steve's mindset is this, and he just hadn't communicated Noy? I want these 8 weeks to be about you, not about me being stressed at work. That I'm gonna take these 8 weeks and work on this marriage, and if we both say yes, I go get a job, or I go back to my career, right? Because he's looking at it, he's like most entrepreneurs, and you said it a few minutes ago. I'm getting a check. I'm good. I got 8 weeks to work on my craft, where I really don't have any bills, right? I got 8 weeks. They're paying me to film the show. I got 8 weeks to build my company up, 8 weeks to do whatever I need to do, and let's maneuver, right? And so let's move in this realm of me doing what I need to do for 8 weeks. Until I can build, so I can take these 8 weeks could set me for the next 18 years. If I do what's right, we're building a company. And maybe that's his mindset, but he hasn't been able to articulate that to Noy. And I think if he can, Noy's issue is the fear of unknown. Is the fear of unknown. And this is I can talk about the woman that I live with, right? I can't talk about, I ain't been with a whole bunch of women, right? I ain't been married, only been married one time. So I only can talk about the woman that I'm married with. The fear of the unknown makes her scared at times.
Yeah.
right? They got to have that security blanket. So I need to know, let's write this thing down, have a plan. This is what the numbers say. This is what analytics say. So here it is. And so when he breaks that down to Noe, like say, you know what, Noe, I have enough money where I ain't got to work for the next 5 years. We good. I'm just using for example, all right? Or I got enough that I can work. We now have to work for the next 2. I don't have to work for the next 2 years. And with this, or if you want to buy a house, let's do this. Let me not work. You pocket, you save all yours. We put it on a house, and we know we're gonna stay together. And so now, when we leave this process, we own a home. I'm just saying. So it's the communication and the planning that will make it better for her. And she needs to know the plan. He just can't keep the plan in his head.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying too. You got to tell her what's going on. But you brought up a great point, man. Could you imagine having 2 years just to figure it out?
Yeah.
Just think of how dangerous you would be if you had 2 years just to say, hey, you got everything covered. You can figure it out. Figure out what you're gonna do for these 2 years. Like, that's a dangerous thing for anybody. That's a mastermind type thing for anybody to do. And it's like, only thing you have to do is communicate with your person, your spouse, of what the plan is. But there are opportunities for communication, like Noe not being 100% with how she feels about him not working doesn't allow him to give his honest answer. Like he said, I don't want a job, but she's talking about how you're going to take care of the kids. Well, what if we're trying to buy a house and he has $1 million in savings? Like it's like you don't have that communication with each other to really figure out what the goals are. Like if y'all are still trying to figure out each other and get to know each other, do that. Like kids being a hard 3. I mean, you having kids as a hard 3. Like, come on, man.
But there's also this though. Here's another thing when you talking about kids. If she wants 3, daycare ain't cheap.
Right.
So are you really underlining trying to get a job and a career so you can be a stay-at-home mom?
Right. That's the way I would feel about the situation. It's like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, what you trying to get out of it? And not in the sense that you try to be sneaky, but if that's what you want to do, communicate that to me. Like, Steve, I want you to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. When we have our first child, I want to stay home for X amount of months, right? Yeah. And take care. So we need to make sure that we have X, Y, Z in the bank. Or we need to make sure the bills are covered. Or we need to make sure that's taken care of and how we can provide those conversations. But they don't talk. She don't talk because we saw that with the new situation. She couldn't communicate. She just rolled out. And so, which leads you to know that she doesn't even want to. She don't even want to address the issue because she hid behind social media.
Yeah. The noodle situation is I got the whole story wrong on our review. And my wife was like telling me like it was wrong at the time. Whatever happened, he put the noodles on and she didn't watch it. Like I would think if you're cooking something, just hey, it's noodles. But let's go back to communication. Let's hold Steve accountable for his actions. Steve put the noodles on.
Yeah, but if we go back to communication again, she told my brother, I'm gonna cook dinner for you. And when he went to go check the dinner out, her noodle was on, his still laying on the side.
Hers was done.
Yeah, hers was done.
That's the problem. That's the issue. At least cut them off.
Right.
Or tell him that his noodles are done. Like that's the thing that I didn't get from her. Like she wasn't mad about those noodles.
No.
Like let's get like it was the job thing. Like that had completely pissed her off. And she couldn't take anymore. Steve held himself cooler than I could have because I would have went completely off.
Yeah.
For him to just respond in a way like, hey man, you got to talk to me. Family is following you. You saying this stupid stuff on social media and stuff, and you ain't said nothing to me. Absolutely nothing like that. It's not gonna work like that. We have to talk to each other, and I don't understand why she thought like that was something you do 18, 19 years old, 20.
Yeah.
At the latest, but it's like, man, like if you have a problem with something, you talk about it, especially in a marriage. I think that's another thing that they have to get over. Well, Noe has to get over is the idea that she's actually in a marriage now, and she's not single.
I think she's not single, and also he did it right because we saw last season my boy Jose, right?
Yeah,
right. See, Steve didn't go Jose, right? But think about it. Jose locked the door, put the deadbolt on, and was
I'm glad he didn't do that.
And he like, yo, I'm going to sleep. Steve was like, yo, I texted her, I called her, I checked on her, I called around. I wanted to make sure she was okay. I'm sure he didn't put a deadbolt. He did what a husband was supposed to do, right?
Right.
Like he did what a husband was supposed to do. Even when she came back and they had a discussion, Steve didn't fuss. He was straight to the point. Like, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have did that.
Yeah,
but
right.
He didn't raise his voice. He was like, yeah, you definitely right. So he did all the correct things, and hopefully it eased the situation out because she finally got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
at least it seems like she got it.
She seemed like she got it, even though she was still upset at the bowling situation when she's still on fire. That's okay. At least she went with him. She was sitting close. She kind of understood. But Steve had to put it down and break it down for her, like, yo, you can't do this behavior. This is not cool. This is not what wives do. You took the dog, right?
Right.
But I think then she said she was taking the dog out and never came back.
It never came back. No, she was like packed up. She didn't say anything. She was like she's tired of this or something like that, and just left. Like the thing that me and Artika brought up was, you can't do that in marriage. Where are you gonna go?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to the other room and cool off, which is fair. You know, like, yeah, you go to the other room, cool off, then come back, but you have to tell me what's going on. I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not gonna try to be.
No,
you know, and especially because they're trying to get to know each other, man. That's the hard part about it. It's like you're trying to get to know each other, and this is what you do over the fact that not over the fact that he doesn't have money, over the fact that he's not working a 9 to 5.
Right.
Or
you don't want to address issues. and that's the big, you don't want to address it. Have the communication. It may be a tough conversation. I'm sure he'll open up with you, right? He seems like a dude. He'll tell you everything. Here it is. Here, I'm gonna lay it out. This, and this. And she doesn't want to have the tough conversation. He's
not gonna volunteer information, but he'll definitely, you ask the right questions, he'll answer it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. That's the thing that bothered me the most about the whole thing is Steve is a person that you can talk to. He has not given us any type of signs to say it's certain things you can't ask him about.
Right.
You know?
And she shouldn't have no reason not to trust him. I think vice versa. He got all the reason not to trust her. At the first sign of conflict, she ready to go.
Right. That's a major thing. Like,
that's a major thing.
Conflict that she made up.
Yes. Because she didn't communicate. And I think that's the key with me is she made it up. She's not willing to communicate. She couldn't address it. You told my man he gonna cook for him, and you leave his stuff high and dry. You mad at the fact that he's in the bedroom. Maybe he was playing video games. I don't know. He was working on something. She got mad because he got mad. She got mad because he was in the kitchen with her. Right. I'm gonna use my imagination. Right. Because I've been through the situation. I'm gonna cook for you. I'm gonna help you, but you ain't helping me in the kitchen cook. You in a whole totally separate area doing whatever. He may have Madden up too loud. Right. She got irritated. He in there playing games. He in there playing whatever case may be, and she was hot, and I think that's the key. Her irritation by him not going to work has set her in, and she, as her friend stated, she feel like she's the breadwinner.
Yeah, and I don't find, like, me personally, I'm more of a person that wants to work with you and build with you than one person having to be the breadwinner. But if that happens, if one person is the Michael Jordan of the situation, who am I to step in the way?
And especially if you're in two different careers, right? Me and my wife, we're in two different careers, right? Her career is going to bring a little bit more than my career, and it's just the nature of the beast, right? But again, we're on the same team. It comes to the same pie. I ain't making peanuts, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But again, based off careers, it's going to be one's career is going to make more than the other one.
Right.
It's just what careers are. So it doesn't make that this one is dominant because he's not trying to dominate the situation. She ain't trying to. They just have to get on the same page How are we going to maneuver? What does it take us to live and survive? What does it take? What's your comfort zone? I think I said in our review, he's going to have to figure out what is Noy's magic number. And what I mean by what's Noy's magic number, what number makes you secure and can let you sleep at night knowing that we okay?
Yeah.
Right? Some people magic number in the bank is, 6 months of emergency fund, right? Some people magic number is 3 months of emergency fund, right? Some people like, I'm good because I can put everything on auto pay, right? I mean, years ago when we had, doing nothing on auto pay, like, oh man, we got to rob Peter to pay Paul, right? Yeah. When we started putting things on auto pay, you don't worry about it. Like, yo, dog, I'm good. The money's always going to bank account. You feel like you came up a little bit, right? I'm saying, but it's levels to this thing, and they got to figure out what level they're on and how can they be on the same page list and the same level. And she has to be able to communicate with him and not run out like a child.
That's the biggest issue. She has to tell him this what makes me comfortable. Like I get her trauma from from growing up. Like I understand. Like I tell Artika all the time, I don't want to be poor. I don't want my children to grow up poor. I don't want my marriage to be in poverty. I want to be wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? It looks like this. That's me communicate with my wife, and that's the conversation that she needs to have with Steve, and Steve needs to have that with her because he's, as you can see, he's a fly by guy. He's just kind of let things happen, and he has enough cushion behind him to be like, I can handle that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I say this every time this comes up, and I agree with you, Sharon. Married at first, I have a sex therapist. They have a relationship therapist. I think they need a financial therapist as a financial expert.
They definitely do. I think
they need a financial expert on the show to help these couples because we all know marriage ends for power situations, money situations, and sexual situations. And they don't have anyone on here to help couples work their finances. Because if we had a financial therapist or financial expert on here, I think this would help their situation much. It will help their situation quicker than it is right now.
Yeah.
Because all this can be alleviated if they have a mediator and lay that stuff out on the table and say, this is what it is. This is what this is what we can do, can't do. This is what I'm getting. This is what I'm not getting. This is where our level's at. What's your secure number? Let's work to this number. And Steve can say, you know what? This is what I'm making in my business. This is what I'm not making in my business. I'm able to sustain us. We ain't gonna be eating McDonald's every night, right? We're not gonna be. You're not gonna be. You don't have to worry about going back to that lifestyle because I love you enough that I'm not gonna make you go to that lifestyle. You're not gonna go back to the way the refugee camp was. And he has to do this. He has to cover her and make her comfortable. And make her, and not just by words, right? He has to make her comfortable by action and deed. This is where the work part comes in at. You have to make her comfortable. So he may have to say, see on the table, okay, my freelancer is bringing this much in a week. So he'll have to show her that, you know what, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
It just can't be words.
Like the crazy part about it, I think Noy needs to realize, like, y'all are trying to get to know each other. Like y'all are still trying to, even though you're married, you still need to like come together and get to know each other. Walking out like you did, it doesn't look good on your part. Not communicating is definitely not good. Being bothered by him not working for these 8 weeks, well, you covered for these 8 weeks, get to know each other. Find out if him as a person is a person that you want to be with. Because everything is void if you figure out I really don't like him as a person, and you say no on decision day. You thinking about 3 kids, but you got to get past decision day.
That's a good point, Tom. That's a good point. You got to get past decision day.
So I think the most important thing right now for them is to focus on getting to know each other and figuring out who their person is versus what this person like. Obviously, like Steve is financially okay. See how he is as a person and go from there and make your decision. Because if you make your decision based off of the fact that he doesn't work, but let's just say he has a trust fund that he just had access to that basically keeps him from working for the rest of his life, you lose. You know what I'm saying? At that point, you lose.
But here's the question. Me and Jack brought up Jack, but if he has that trust fund and he can't retire her, is it a win for him or is it a win for all of them?
I still think it's a win for all of them because now you have kids, you got a babysitter. You have daycare covered because he can just watch the kids. Like his role changes in the marriage at that point. You know what I'm saying?
It does change, but it doesn't cover the fact that she has to get up and go to work every day.
That's just something she has. Either two things has to happen. Either you bring down your level of comfort as far as home, or you continue to work. It's one or two things you can only do. You know?
True.
So, but yeah, man, she needs to communicate with him and focus more on getting to know him rather than trying to figure out what he's gonna do for work.
Yeah. So. Let that man prove to you that he can sustain you and the family.
Yeah. Let that man figure out if he wants to be with you and start a family with you.
Yeah. So true. Because he may not like you after 8 weeks and don't go work and still be fine and go back to his own spot and be okay.
Yeah.
Good point there. Good point. Let's get to this last couple right here. This right here.
Let's do it.
Her being and that's Mark and Lindsey.
Where you want to start with them, man? It's my question because
I want to start at the end.
Let's start at the end
because the end is what I was hot with. No, you know what? I don't even want to start the end. I want to start before the end. Let's start with her try to check Katina.
Yeah.
That's where everything started at.
She like, what did I say? She doesn't have any self-control. You know, like maybe you don't like what a person is doing while you're talking, but it has nothing to do with you. What's the serenity prayer? You know, that type of idea. I can't remember verbatim.
Things that I can't change and something like that.
Right. Like, so you're asking this girl what she rolling her eyes for, like you finna get up and fight her. You're not. So sit down. Don't worry about why she rolling her eyes. Say it to Mark afterwards. Mark had a point. I didn't understand the whole point when he said something like to her after that. But then, like, thinking about it, it's like you did have a point there. Like she could have just let that ride and been done with the situation. But even Olajuwon had like, yo, chill out. We not here for this. So you're putting the men in a predicament to where they have to step in and say something to their wives. Because I mean, like, nobody's gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were, you would have done it already. And so it's no point in asking what she rolling her eyes for. Because what if she said, I'm rolling my eyes because you full of SHIT?
Right.
Then what? You know what I'm saying? It changes nothing. So Mark had a point in saying that to her, like, you know, that's unnecessary. So it's like she doesn't have any self-control. And then when she gets mad at him, she goes off in left field and talks bad about him. And the fact that he heard it, I wouldn't be able to be cool with her. Like, we definitely have to address that.
Yeah. And my thing was like, how much did he hear? Because I know she was in the bathroom loud, you know. But real quick, before we even get there, back to Katina situation, you put Mark in, and you said it was key. And we know men, we don't like to be uncomfortable, right? Yeah. In that situation. He put Mark and Olajuwon, who really like each other, right? They really like each other, boys. He put them in, she's putting them in a bad situation where Olajuwon got to defend. Either I'm going to defend my wife, I'm going to look out for Mark. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to tell my wife, look, hey, don't do that. Leave that alone. Because Katina did say something slick. I mean, it wasn't the first thing. Katina said something. I think Lindsey did hear Katina said something about the taco situation. Yeah. And then she rolled her eyes. But I think the more Lindsey began to drink, the more her mouth became loose, right?
Yeah,
her lips became loose. Like she didn't want to hold it anymore. We know that she can hold it because she held it at the table with Alyssa.
Right.
So it's not like she can't contain it. She picks and chooses where she wants to contain her verbal onslaught. And she picks the people that she wants.
And the crazy part, and this is random, the crazy part is that's a better match for them.
Right.
Right. That's a better match looking at it. Because we think, okay, obviously we think Katina would put them hands to her, and then obviously we think would probably put them hands to Mark.
Right.
But Chris and Alyssa, Chris would probably not fight Mark, and Lindsey probably could take Alyssa.
True.
Just saying it out there. But like it's infuriating because how old is she? 34. At 34 years old, you can't let things go.
Nah, you can't let it slide. I need to address stuff. I need to address stuff when I see it. I can't. You can't look. You can't do that in every situation. I think I said before. Nobody wants to be always putting out fires in a relationship, right? Everywhere I go, I had to be strapped because you may cause me to use my gun tonight.
Right. Because what happens if they're put into a situation and Mark has to defend himself, and he, let's say he has a gun and he kills somebody,
right?
All because she couldn't keep her mouth closed,
right? Or he gets there and he gets whipped,
right?
He go defends himself and he gets whipped. So what are you looking at him then, as a punk?
Right.
But you started to fight. Right? You done lost respect for your husband because he done got whipped by somebody that you done started a fight with.
And it's like, man, you put these guys in awkward positions because that's a lose-lose situation. Because if you really want to talk to the person that like should never say anything, if Mark says, like Lindsey says what she say to Katina about rolling her eyes, and then they get into some type of scuffle, and Olajuwon here gets at Mark. Now that's a lose situation because now he loses his friend.
Mm-hmm.
But if he corrects his wife, that's a losing situation because now it causes a rift between him and his wife. Yeah. Like I told Artika, if we was ever in a situation, I'm going to correct you first.
Yeah.
Because you are an extension of me and I'm an extension of you. So you have every right to correct me and I have every right to correct you to get out of the situation. Now, if it's a situation we can't avoid, then all bets are off, and we gonna get beat up together. We gonna win together. Whatever we gotta do, we gonna do it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's like me and Jack. We look at each other like, yo, I tap, calm, try to stay close, grab a little tight, calm down. Or because again, I don't like I'm not saying it's always her to see she pop in and rub the neck like it. Because I'm calm. I ain't been there. I ain't been there in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I try not to go there. So when I'm old enough now, when I see situations that I'm always a forward thinker. So if I'm looking at situations, if it's getting ready to go south, come on, let's go this way, right? Mm-hmm. Or I'm that cat to see stuff. I don't even comment. I don't say anything. Like, what was that? Not tell you later. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I tell you later because I'm already projecting this may go a wrong way here, and I ain't gonna try to hurt nobody tonight, right? Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna let them do nothing to you, right? And I ain't let them do nothing to me, so I'm gonna have to defend. Otherwise, I'm in a defensive mode already anyway. So we're gonna have to go ahead and roll this situation out. And I think that's where O was at. And then when Mark brought it back up, like, oh, you mean you ain't riding for me? Nah, it ain't that he ain't riding for you. He's looking out for you because he don't want you to get beat up. Because Katina already said it. Girl, I ain't trying to do this with you on camera.
Right.
That was her warning shot. See, some people don't understand warnings, right? Some people don't recognize the warning. Katina already said, I'm not gonna do this with you on camera. Yeah. But when we live in the same apartment complex, and when production ain't rolling, I can get you. Right? Think about it. I mean, this is just the way I'm thinking, right? Because you push somebody so far, she like, you know what? It's not like you live across town. I know where you live. Right. I wait downstairs for you, and we see how big your mouth is then. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm just where I'm from. Y'all may not be from that situation. Y'all may not roll like that. But from where I'm from, it's like, okay, I may not get you here because there's a lot of eyes watching, but I'll catch you. Yeah.
What I thought was funny is, wasn't this the same thing that Alyssa tried with Lindsey? When she was like, don't roll your eyes or whatever, and Lindsey was like, I'm over here minding my business. It was. So then I'm like Mark said, why you gonna go poke the bear? of all the people you gonna say something to, why I gotta be Katina? You know what I'm saying? And Katina ain't gonna, like, in that moment, I'm glad, you know, with Alyssa and Lindsey, Lindsey was a little more, you know, okay. But we in this calm environment. We back in Boston. We at the bowling alley. And that's what Katina was like, look, don't do that. Don't do that for these cameras. I get you. I know you had a little restraint when Alyssa did it when we was out of town, but listen, I'm on my ground right now. Don't start none, won't be none.
Plus, you can tell Katina and O is they're trying to stay peaceful for camera's sake. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you have to go back to your regular 9 to 5. At the end of the day, you don't want to do anything detrimental to your character or your job and say, you know what, you was on that show, you didn't respect us the right way. We're gonna can you. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to do anything like that. So Katina's on her best behavior with Lindsey. Now, Lindsey, on the other hand, and for her to continue that way and then to go off on Mark, and the first thing out of her mouth after argument would go with your mama. Knowing this man's mama in a nursing home, and he can't go live with his mama because he can't go live with your mama then. See, that's what made me mad, because she's one of the people they help you out and then tell everybody they helped you.
Yeah.
And tell all your business, oh yeah, I had to do this, I had to do this for him, they had to do this for him, I had to do this for him. And then the first sign that there's trouble, she's getting ready to put dude out.
Mark need to cuss her out one good time so she understand. Don't try me. Like, that's the thing. She don't understand. He's like, don't try me. Because, like, the thing that bothered me the most by her whole rant was she clowned him for making $60,000 a year. This is the man's living. Do not, like, he makes a living. He's not like some people that out here can't find a job, ain't trying to find a job, ain't looking for any type of income, living off of somebody else. He's making a living for himself. Do not talk about a man's living. Anybody. The way that they talk, you know, just trying to down him for being able to go to work. Like, I hated that. You know, like in this like, she just needs to, oh God. Like, I don't know how you bounce back from that.
Right.
He was calm. It was low blows because when he makes $60,000 a year anyway, hustling them gym memberships,
selling your little gym membership. I'm like, dang.
Right, but but you're taking it again. You married, so you committed to this $60,000, and now even if you make $80,000, right? And Tommy, it made me have to go look this up. What the average salary in Boston is, right? It's like $77,000. So he's not too far off, right? $17,000 off. I mean, I think the rent is like $2,200 in Boston. So it made me have to go look what's the cost of living in Boston. Like $60,000 is okay. It ain't poverty. You ain't eating no flea. You ain't eating the high and the hog all night, but you ain't poor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so for you to say that this is your husband, this is your husband that you helped out, and you ragging on this man's income. What if he says this? What if he went Steve No Jobs and say, you know what, my 60 ain't good. I'll show you what zero feels like.
Right.
Put us together. Right.
Right. You know, it's shameful that she's the way that she acts, and then like for 34 years nobody has corrected this. Because this type of behavior is unacceptable for an adult, let alone an adult in a relationship. That's probably why she, you know, doing Married at First Sight. But you can't get mad at a person for correcting you when you were wrong. Altogether, this whole situation was started because she was being aggressive in a situation that she didn't need to be aggressive in. You ask a person what they rolling their eyes for, you know the answer. Whatever you're saying is some BS, and they don't like it. So the best response they got is to roll their eyes or interrupt you to say what they're gonna say. You know the answer to it.
But peep the game. Hold on. Peep the game though. And it goes all the way back to the toilet situation, right? Because the toilets didn't like who's peeing, and she's like, I know how to take care of the situation. Jasmina was the one who was really cutting her off, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, let him speak. She didn't go after Jasmina that we saw. She went after the person that she don't already like.
Yeah.
So see, she intentionally poked the bear to see what we're gonna get. She like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go after Katina. I'm not gonna go after Jasmina. I'm gonna go after this one right here.
I got a couple things to say because I'm just gonna remark on some of the comments in the chat. The Coco Brown experience. Yeah, Mark did tell her go have another drink, but I think that was more of a have another drink, like calm down, be quiet, do what you do, and get a drink. I'm not saying it wasn't a low blow. It was a little bit, but it was just like, you know, have a drink, calm down. The other thing, it was said she was venting to the producer. I understand. Listen, trust me. I know about venting when your husband do whatever, but it's still a way that you talk about it. You don't degrade. Me and my sister, I'ma confess, my husband know it. Me and my sister, we talk about our husbands to each other.
So you should have said the other. See, I know you talked to her about me. He may watch it. He may watch this and don't know.
But you know what I'm saying? But I never degrade him. You know what I mean? It's you can vent about your husband, but you don't degrade. The way she talked about him was disgusting. And that wasn't even her friend. That was the producer. That was the producer. Basically, that's a stranger. You know, you don't run your husband down to nobody. Even when I joke, you know, I say, oh, Glenn did so. I don't be like this effing idiot. Like she called him an effing idiot. She raped that man over the coals. You don't do that. It's a way that you can talk about the situation. Like he out here peddling gym memberships. He only make this much money. He this, he that. You don't do that. You gotta. There's an art to venting, and it's a way that you can do it where you are not like really just throwing a joker under the bus.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I cannot agree with that. She was wrong. She was wrong, and she might have been in the bathroom venting to the producer, but everybody could hear them.
You had a live mic on. I mean, you had a live mic.
She knew it too.
Well, besides the mic, look at where Chris and Mark were. It made Mark turn around like, what?
But hold on. See, this is where the key too. Y'all gotta read between the lines. She doesn't just vent to the producers because Chris was like on after party. Oh, I heard this before. They both called me. They vent to Chris, right? They vent to Chris. Yeah. Chris is the sounding board for both of them. So he knows the story. He knows what's going on. So she vent to anybody who listened. I think Tommy, my heart went out to him about the money, and my heart went out to him about the mother because she knows his mother's situation. Mm-hmm. She even helped take care of the mother. For her to say that about his mom, to me, was the disgusting part. That was terrible. Because you helped take care of this woman. You told him that you're going to be there for this woman. And the first sign that you're going to stab him in the back, you went straight to his mom. That's the low blow.
Yeah.
I think he can even tolerate the money aspect. But when it came to his mom, I think that's the low blow.
Like the weird thing about her and their dynamic is it might have been like 2 or 3 times at the beginning of the episode. Yeah, he needs somebody to care for him because in this episode, I think they talked about he's not used to having anybody caring for him and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, you like he's going through some experiences all at one time during this experience. And so he's going through all these things and you're there as his spouse. Like, what do you expect to do? At least be there for him to talk. Like you deciding to step in and actually help and try to help, with some things is nice. But then you come in and talk about this man when you get upset for him correcting you after he's told you those situations bother him. Like, it's not like she doesn't know that her asking this girl what she rolling her eyes for doesn't bother him because he's told her that it bothers him. That's why he wanted to slow down. It's just stupid. Like, stop treating this man this way, knowing that he's a nice guy. We can obviously see he's a nice guy, and quit treating him like he's just trash, man. And
is it a nice guy, or is he really kind of? I don't want to call it a man because she already emasculated him.
That's the word, emasculating him.
He doesn't like conflict.
Yeah, I think that's okay because most people don't like to be in conflict.
Right.
Most people go into situations wanting the situation to go cool, right? With that being the case, it's like quit trying to be in conflict every time y'all together.
Yeah, and I think she expects him to always be on her side. And we know in marriages, you and your spouse are not always going to see eye to eye, and y'all always not going to be on the same side. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that I do that Jack be like, you know, you was wrong. You shouldn't have said that. And there's some things she does, very few, that I'll be like, you know what? I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? So again, so it's some things and he was just saying, you know what? I don't agree with the way that you handled the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, "Oh, you ain't gonna be on my side." Soon as she went straight to, "You're not gonna be on my side." It's not a side thing. I'm trying to let you know because I already spoke to you, and he's doing what her friends told him to do. Address the issue. What he needed to do is carry that no button around his pocket and hit the no button every time. She'll listen to that more so than she listened to him.
Right. And
she's
that's
not gonna listen to him. Right. Mm-hmm. At this point, you think about it. She's not gonna listen to him because she doesn't value him as her husband. He's just the person she's with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She think this is too. When it's certain things, I think there should be a lead, right?
Yeah.
And we should respect each other, submit to each other. You already know that he doesn't like conflict. Why you can put him in situations where there's conflict?
Mm-hmm.
Or you create conflict that he doesn't like to be in. You already know that he doesn't like standing up for you because you saw that from the plane, right? Think about to the honeymoon. He was the one who came out and apologized to the whole group.
You're right.
She never apologized to the whole group. He was the one that came out and apologized to the group. So again, even in these 10 days, she knows her spouse. Why keep putting him in that situation where he got to keep apologizing to folk for your behavior?
Right. And then you're still trying to convince, like, let's remember this. They're still trying to make sure at the end of the 8 weeks that they're going to say yes to each other.
Mm-hmm.
If every time we get together with somebody, I have to diffuse the situation, I don't want that to be my life, man. That's going to cause me more stress than anything.
Right. And you said it. You said it earlier with Chris being his sounding board or the person he talks to, and with how Chris and Alyssa left out, I can see Mark saying, you know what? I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can see Mark bowing out.
Yeah, and it's seemingly like that's okay to do in the middle, like, which is it's not. Like, it's an experiment for a reason, and you should go through the 8 weeks or the 8 weeks of doing it and come out and see what happens. But like certain situations is like Chris and Alyssa's situation, I feel like was on another level. But just seeing it as being an option for the other people on it, it's like, that could backfire, But it sucks, man. It sucks to have to sit there and look at that, and everybody's looking at it like, this woman here, she's wrong.
There's that car ride home.
What car ride home? I'm Ubering.
That apartment at night is gonna see you have to talk to her in the morning, right? Because she's already drunk. Alcohol is flowing. She's already hot, upset. They're gonna have to have that conversation the next morning. If he does not address it on the next episode, there's a problem.
Yeah.
He has to address it.
I was looking at the preview and I was trying to figure out, how did these guys like bounce back from that? Because on the preview they got them in go-karts and stuff, laughing and stuff with each other. I'm like, how do you bounce back from that? I heard the conversation. I knew it was about me, and we supposed to be willy-nilly, but we have to talk about that. That ain't something that I just let go.
Right. See, that which made me believe he didn't hear everything.
Yeah.
Which made me we heard everything because the super mics and superimposed some things. Right. But he heard her going off. He probably couldn't make out what she was saying. And probably thinking, that's her going off again. Or even Chris heard it. Chris was like, nah, man, try to downplay it. I just don't think he heard everything she said.
Oh, for sure.
Because if I had heard everything she said, you correct. It would be Ubering, bro.
And we would not be cool for quite a few days.
And everybody would know we wouldn't be cool. It'd be okay though.
Yeah.
But we were gonna have that conversation.
We definitely have to talk. They have to have a conversation about like her responses to, because the thing is, what if he decides to do the same thing? Like if she goes low, I'm gonna go low too. I don't know what he could say about her, but he could talk about her drinking problem.
A small apartment. He could be like, yo, that's why your mama don't even want to be with you. I'm just you know what I'm saying?
He could bring up her mama situation.
Right. Yeah, let's leave mamas out of it.
He could go to her mama situation. I see why everybody leaves you. I see why everybody don't want to be around you. I see why your dad told me it's like you were like a grabbing a crocodile's tail. I mean, if he wanted to go south, that's not his MO.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it leaves the door open. You
right.
know what I'm saying? I can't do it, you know. Nobody likes tit for tat, but because I don't think it's productive to whatever situation you're in. But come on, man.
Yeah, it's tit for tat is not good. But what if he did go that south? That thing is just it'd be like it would totally explode.
Yeah,
totally explode, man. Totally explode.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're bad. I'm interested to see how they mend this thing next week.
Right. Me too.
I can't see it.
Man, closing thoughts. What you got? Your closing thoughts on this whole episode that we saw of Married at First Sight. Striking Back was the title of the episode, and there was a lot of strikebacks.
Yeah. I'm happy for Michael and Jasmina. Like they actually make me smile seeing them together. Katina and Olajuwon needs to have more conversation about the reasons behind sex. I don't think it's a big deal because he doesn't date black, or this is his first serious relationship with a black woman. Let me see who else we got. Mark and Lindsey. Oh geez. I just don't like it's like come on, man. Something has to give with them two. Let me see what else. Noi, I'm missing somebody. Chris and Alyssa, of course, I'm happy for them. Yeah. Noi and Steve. Noi needs to grow up. She even if she needs to learn, she needs to realize that they're on a trial run with this marriage thing. And if she really wants to be married to this man, get to know this man and don't worry about what he makes and how he's providing at this point, because you got another hurdle to get past, which is staying married. So I think like a lot of their issues, everybody's issues, is coming from true communication and not learning about each other enough or paying attention to each other enough versus being concerned with things past decision day, which is cool. Like it's dope that you think about past decision day, but you still have to get to know each other. So
yeah, man, go ahead. You ain't been here for a minute. You got a voice? You good? You got something to say? Because we held it down, Tommy. Everybody said
I see everybody saying we held it down.
I'm gonna have to go back and see. I'm have to see how y'all did it. I'm gonna have to see how y'all did it. I'll just do my closing thought when it comes to Noi and Steve, because I wasn't here for that part of the conversation. But Tommy, I agree. Noi needs to grow up. I told my husband, she was sitting on that couch. She looked like a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
With her lip poked out. I'm like, girl, you can't do that. I thought Steve's conversation with her was very mature, and it was wise. Obviously, he's picked up some things. That's all I could think with Noi. I'm like, is this how you saw your parents deal with their issues? I doubt it. That's just my closing thought. I was like, that whole interaction, I was like, this is silly. And I think we talked about that before. Chloe brought it up too. Pick your battles.
Right.
Pick your battles. The overcooked noodles, this ain't it. And that's not what bothers you. Let's talk about what really bothers you.
Right.
Let's talk about what really bothers you. But I'm still holding on hope for Jasmina and Michael. I probably got a little bit of hope for Katina and Olajuwon. I got a little bit. I think they can work it out, maybe. Let's see. Mark and Lindsey, they kind of remind me of Jamie and Elizabeth.
I was gonna say that.
Just a whole lot bigger explosion, but and they still together. I didn't think they would stay together. I thought they would say no on decision day, but my like my husband always say, crazy like crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Mark is crazy enough for Lindsey's crazy.
No, Mark is scared, so he ain't gonna leave her because he ain't gonna leave because he's scared.
That's how I think. That's what I think about Stephanie and AJ.
Right.
I think she's still with AJ because, I mean, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I think Mark and Lindsey are always going to work it out, in my opinion, because he's scared. He's not going to stand up to her. I don't think he ever stands up to her, and I think she'll continue to control the situation just by the fact of Mark's issues with women in his life, and that would seem like the women in his life controlled him, his mama, his landlord, now his wife. So I think she will always is always gonna be okay. He's always gonna go back. Jasmina and Michael, I'm holding out hope, but they take 2 steps forward and like they fall 15 back. Right? I can see something gonna happen with them that's not gonna be good for them. Whether Michael says something wrong or forgets to say something or whatever case may be. I want them to work out, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Jasmine, as this week, Olajuwon and Katina, I think they're one of the better couples. They're moving in the right place because it's so much honesty in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so much honest. Even though we may not like the way he presents it sometimes, he's honest and she's honest. So I think they're building on honesty in their relationship. When it comes to Noah and Steve, he just needs to show her bank account and tell him how long he can be unemployed. How long he can not have a true 9-to-5 and what he's making, not making, whether he's getting a severance or not. She just needs to see the numbers laid out. And I think once he sees the numbers laid out, everything else was going to be okay. Alyssa and Chris, if I don't see them until the reunion, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I hope we don't.
If I don't see them until the reunion, I'm good. She don't need to come to no party. She don't need to come to no function. I don't care if they have a birthday celebration, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She don't need to show up. She's not good for TV. She gives us a lot of content to talk about, but I don't see what kind of content she can give us if she doesn't have Chris there, and if she's not telling everyone I'm sorry, there's no point for her to be on the show.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Just my thoughts on her. But hey, y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Thank y'all for being in the chat, for jumping. Y'all really did a great job. Tommy, thank you, brother, for holding it down with us, man. I appreciate you. Always, ladies will be back next week. They was busy today. Wife had to take care of some things with our oldest girl, but it was good. I always trust my man Tommy anyway, so we get to go. I think we can do it.
Claps for the brothers.
Yeah, we can do it. But thank y'all, man. Let us know what y'all think in the comment section about Chris and Olajuwon and Katina, Mark and Lindsey, about Noah and Steve, about Alyssa and Chris, which is over. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you go subscribe to August Love Story. If you have not subscribed to them already, make sure you subscribe to Chole Johnson. If you have not subscribed to her already, make sure you go subscribe to Telisa Rae. If you had not subscribed to them. And don't just subscribe. Go ahead and hit the bell notification. And when their videos pop up, go ahead and watch that. Go ahead and share it in all the Facebook groups that you're in. Share it with somebody else. Make sure you check us out. And we'll be back here the same time next week at 3 p.m. To discuss more Married at First Sight. So appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for joining us. And y'all have a great night.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.